So I love making mayonnaise. I really love it. Today we're gonna make mayonnaise without raw eggs, and I'm also gonna give you 4 spin-off variations of this mayonnaise that are all incredible in their own right. Without further ado, now let's go! Obviously, you're gonna need some eggs. If you can, try to buy eggs locally. I find when they're fresher, meaning they haven't been sitting around for a long time, they really cook well. Meaning if you poach them, they'll look great. If you soft or hard boil them, they'll be easy to peel. Generally speaking, just much funner and easier to work with. Local organic eggs, let's go. Now what we're gonna do here is poach the eggs. That's right, shell in there. This is how we do it. You could also soft boil the egg, do about a 5.5, a 6-minute egg, but this works best. And when you're poaching eggs, I like to crack them first into a little vessel like this. If you don't have anything like this, you can just use a teacup. Just a better way to gently release them into the water rather than just cracking them straight into it. Okay, let's poach. Now here I've got some simmering water. So because we're just poaching these eggs for mayonnaise, I'm fine with using just a shallow little pot like this. They'll work out just fine for this recipe. If I'm trying to make a really beautiful poached egg, usually I'm using a deep pot. This is the thing chefs debate over, but when you use a deep pot, that egg will fall slowly to the bottom and it will have time to form this teardrop shape, which makes sense to me just thinking about it. But for this recipe, shallow pot, little pot will be fine. Now you need a little bit of vinegar in the water. That just helps the egg keep its shape, but you don't need a lot. Now watch this. I see people overdo this all the time. Look at this. That's it. That's all you need, like a teaspoon. Even like half a teaspoon is probably enough. Now I'm turning this up a little bit because when we put the eggs in, we're gonna lose a little bit of temperature. So it's a little aggressive right now, but it'll even out, right? So we just kind of gently release that out like so. Next one, let the water into the cup and then just release back like so. And then if you need to turn the temperature up and down, do so. I'm just turning mine up for a second. Also, if you see a lot of scum like that, it just comes to the top, just pull it out. That is not the egg, that's just weird foamy stuff. I don't know what it is. Some science guy can tell you that. Now I can already see that these eggs are working out nicely. You can see, especially this one has a good shape, especially considering we're using that little shallow pot. This one is a little bit weird, but again, it doesn't matter for this because we're making mayonnaise. It's all gonna get blended into oblivion. Now what we're going for here is cooked whites and runny yolk, right? So if we look at this now right around 3 minutes, that white is cooked, but obviously this is a runny yolk in there, so we'll get it out. Just get it onto a plate. There's the other mangled one. Again, doesn't matter. Now I'm gonna pop this thing in my functioning fridge. This fridge, I don't touch. In fact, I even clean it. And I'm just gonna put these in here to get most of the heat out of them. You can put hot things in fridges so long as it's not a huge amount, right? 2 little eggs like that is not gonna change the temperature of my fridge at all. That's fine. You obviously wouldn't wanna put like a huge pot of hot soup in there, right? You wanna let that cool down first, out of the fridge, and then into the fridge. But 2 little eggs, all good. So I'm gonna weigh this out real quick for Americans, but also for my brothers and sisters across the pond who are using the grand system, or great system as we call it. But as always, my recipes are always in the description under the video. Okay, my eggs are chilled. These are 2 large eggs if you want to just go by size, but I really encourage you, if you're recreating recipes, to try to look for weighted recipes. That way you know there's no discrepancies, right? So in ounces, 3.5 ounces of egg, which is exactly 100 grams of egg. Now, a food processor is really what you want for this recipe, although if you don't have one of these, you can use a blender. If you don't have a blender, you can use a stick blender, one of those hand blenders. This is not a mayonnaise you can make with a whisk because the eggs are cooked, they need to be blended. Let's just drop our eggs in, and I always like to do some water. That really helps the mayonnaise get light and fluffy. And I like to put a little bit of garlic in my mayonnaise, not a crazy amount, but it's definitely there. This is just 8 grams, or about 1/4 ounce, or 1 medium and 1 large clove. Let's talk about my preferred oil. So if you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm always banging on about avocado oil. I love this because you can use it for everything, meaning for this mayonnaise, for a vinaigrette, for a marinade. You could even deep fry in it, right? Everything from room temp up to 500 degrees. That's awesome. Also, it's not gonna kill you like these store-bought vegetable oils, which are just terrible for your body. They're just soybean oil, disgusting. Also, recently I found out a lot of store-bought avocado oils are fakes, meaning they say avocado oil, but they're actually like soybean oil and other stuff. Blew my mind. I got so freaking mad. I wanted to kick somebody. I wanted to kick up somebody in half, honestly. This brand, Chosen Foods, is one I really trust. Not affiliated with them. I just don't want you to put bullshit in your body. So Chosen Foods, I buy this at Costco. I get it bulk. It makes it really affordable for me. That's what we're using for our mayonnaise. And before turning it on, we're gonna add 1/4 cup of our oil. That's just gonna help it turn. And we'll blend that for 2 minutes, and then we'll add the rest of the oil. Now that's been blending for 2 minutes. What I did was add a tiny bit more water just to help it turn. Because you're using cooked eggs, this mayonnaise will thicken up a bit quicker than if you were using raw eggs. Now at this point, I'm gonna use my salt. I'm just using the one and only Maldon. That's a nice sea salt from England, but you could use kosher salt or any other salt really. And return to blending. And now we'll just keep streaming in the rest of our oil. At this point, your mayonnaise will be disgustingly thick, which is what we want. Now, how do we thin it out? We thin it out with the one missing ingredient, the acid. I mean, like lemon juice or vinegar, right? It needs that acidity. All mayonnaise, store-bought or otherwise, has that acid in it. It's just flat right now, right? It needs that whoop. And honestly, I'm just going in with distilled white vinegar. I love this for cooking. It's so good. You could use white wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, red wine vinegar, lemon juice, lime juice, but this is what I like. So we're going in with that and then we'll blend it in. And this is gonna loosen up the thick mayonnaise as well. Now, I'm just gonna get that out and it may seem a little loose to you right now, like thin, but this thickens up a lot in the fridge. And also, I don't like super thick mayonnaise. I think it's kind of gross. Not super thick, right? Thick is good, but not like really thick. Don't leave the video yet because we haven't even done the incredible variations, which are super simple. But I'm telling you, this here already as a base mayonnaise is just so good. Like I will take that over any store-bought mayonnaise any day. I don't care how good you think your Duke's or whatever is, this is 10 times better. And also another thing is you're not putting disgusting oils into your body. You know exactly what's in this mayonnaise. Now to make your 4 super easy variations, super easy yet super delicious, just spread your mayonnaise into 4 little vessels. I'm basically dividing this whole mayo recipe into 5 parts, right? Now for the first one, curry powder. And I'm telling you, you make some curry chicken salad with this. And what's great is we know our base mayonnaise is already just delicious, right? So all you really need to do is add this and happy days. You have, oh my God, that is so good. Curry mayo. Yes! Next up, one you're all gonna be familiar with, sriracha. Everybody loves some sriracha mayo, okay? Just a fact. And look at that. I mean, mixing the sriracha into the mayo is very enjoyable for me, very enjoyable. I'm getting a scary level of enjoyment out of that, okay? Oh! God, that is good. God, that is just good. Ah! Now for the third one, another one you'll all be familiar with, chipotle, or chipotle as older people say. I've told my mom how to say this 1,000 times, she still says chipotle. That's great too. You want to put a little lime in there. You know, if you want to go for a full chipotle one, that would be delicious. Smoky, delicious, freaking awesome. Yeah! Last but certainly not least, some good old mustard. Oh man, this is always so hard to get out. Ooh, yes! You could absolutely use just Dijon mustard or whatever kind of mustard you want, really. Even American if you're trying to make some weird kind of burger sauce. That is good stuff right there. Keep in mind, if you put the mustard in when you're actually blending this up, you might use a lot less oil because it'll be thick. That mustard with this mayonnaise, unfreaking believable. Ah! Fine, don't worry about my fridge. Until next time, my friends, you know I love you and I'm out!